Hello and welcome to Maths with Jacob. This lesson will focus on grouping numbers. Knowing how to group numbers is a valuable skill which will lead to a greater understanding of how numbers are constructed. This process is a natural extension of place value and expanded form. Now what we have to do, we have to group each of the following into groups of 10, and also we have to write down the leftovers. Now the leftovers are not enough to make a group of 10. Let's look at the examples. If we have 24 bananas, we know that 24 equals 2 times 10 because that's in the tens column, so it's 2 times 10. And you have 4 left over because that's not enough to make a group of 10. So we have 2 groups of 10 plus 4 left over. That's what it means. Into groups of 10 and what is left over. 37 apples, 37 is 3 times 10 and plus 7, which is 3 groups of 10 plus 7 left over. 49 oranges, 49 equals 4 times 10 plus 9, 4 groups of 10 plus 9 left over. Group each of the following into groups of 100. Include the leftovers. So now we have groups of 100 plus whatever is left over that cannot make 100. 136 pairs. 136 is 1 times 100 because the 1 is in the hundreds column, and you've got 36 left because they cannot make 100. So one group of 100 plus 36 left over. 257 lemons. 257 is 2 times 100 plus 57. 2 groups of 100 plus 57 left over. 380 marbles. 380 equals 3 times 100 plus 80, which is 3 groups of 100 plus 80 left over. And 444 pens. 444 equals 4 times 100 plus 44 left over, which is 4 groups of 100 plus 44 left over. Group each of the following into, now we have groups of 100, groups of 10, and the leftovers. So we have 3 parts. 576 matches. 576 is 5 times 100, because the 5 is in the hundreds column, plus 7 times 10, because the 7 is in the tens column, and you've got 6 left over because they cannot make a group of 10. So that gives you 5 groups of 100 plus 7 groups of 10 plus 6 left over. 694 birds. 694 is 6 times 100 plus 9 times 10 plus 4, which is 6 groups of 100 plus 9 groups of 10 plus 4 left over. 480 bees. 480 equals 4 times 100 plus 8 times 10 and nothing left over, which is 4 groups of 100 plus 8 groups of 10, and there's nothing left over. So that number can be divided perfectly into groups of 100 and groups of 10, but there's nothing left over. 398 ants. 398 is 3 times 100 plus 9 times 10 plus 8, which is 3 groups of 100 plus 9 groups of 10 plus 8 left over. So this video has introduced you to the concept of grouping numbers. You can group them into groups of 10, groups of 100, etc., etc. And then you can also have leftovers. And it's all to do with place value. If you remember where the place value is, you won't have any problems with these exercises.